What's up out there? It seems like it is now that time of the league where people are giving their opinions on the league and the mechanics and everything that's going on. And I've kind of been taking some notes here and thinking about what I would do in a review of the league and all that. So I thought, yeah, it's probably a good time to do that. We've been in the league for what, 3-4 weeks now, something like that. So to recap how I started my league, I decided to start off with 3 different builds, and I got all my builds up into Act 2 and then picked one and went forward. So I started off with an Exsanguinate Scion that I want to turn into a armor stacker, which I may not get to the armor stacker bit in this league. I may actually just accumulate gear over time and leave this one in standard and then build it as I get. I don't know that I'll have enough time or currency or find everything that I need for it. So it may be a long-term standard project, but it was something I wanted to tinker around with. It would get me into playing heist and stuff like that. So that's kind of where that one was headed. I actually played that through the campaign and through most of the mapping experience. The second build that I worked on is my Caustic Arrow / Toxic Rain. So Caustic Arrow is the primary damage, and then I'm calling Caustic Arrow is the primary damage one, and then I'm calling Toxic Rain with Mana Forged Arrows. That one went through some iterations because I had some issues with it, that it was some weird league-specific build for last league that just wasn't going to work this league. So got things turned around and got it fixed. I'm feeling pretty good with that right now. Neither one of those, like the combination of the two is what I used to get all the mapping done. I did the very big bulk of the mapping with Exsanguinate, running pretty much blue maps, even into the red and stuff like that. Once I unlocked the corrupted version of it, to get further along, I was running a lot of Kirok missions. If you're not aware, you can actually get some Kirok missions. Like some of these might be higher level missions, even though this is a tier 5. You can actually get some of these. Is Canyon low level or is it a high level? Let's see if I got that unlocked. So that's tier 4. So you can actually work this in such a way that you can get, say, a higher tier map that shows up as tier 5, 10, or 16. So, or a lower tier map. So you can actually get a lower tier that's running as tier 16. Kirok kind of just throws random missions at you, and they could be any different tier levels. So I took advantage of that as much as possible, and I got map completion and got my mapping unlocked and a lot of that stuff that way, so that I didn't have to run everything as red corrupt, rare, the red map, the higher tier maps, the red running as corrupt rare and stuff like that. You can actually do some of those as lower tier and get through it. So I actually implemented that this league. That was very good. It worked out really well. And then I kind of hit a ceiling with my Exsanguinate build. It really wasn't going anywhere. So last weekend I fired up the Bone Shatter build, which was my 3rd build. I plowed through the campaign and I played a lot last weekend, and I've kind of just been hanging loose a little bit this week and just chilling out. So that's where we are. I've got 3 builds at end game. They're all, I think my Caustic Arrow build's still only level 89. The other 2 are at level 90. So that's all the further I've gotten. I need to gear up. This guy needs a little bit more gear on him. His stuff's not as great as it could be. And I'm working on building up my maps. I have not ran a tier 17 map. All my mapping is done. I have everything in here. The only thing is I just don't have enough maps to really run. So I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 maps. That's it. Like, I don't really have enough maps to do anything. So I've been trying to generate more maps and, working on that. That's leveling him up has been one priority. And then now that I've gotten 90, I'm leveling him up a little bit more, but I'm also trying to build up a stack of maps and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at. The league itself, the league mechanic, let me back up for a second. As an SSF player, this has been a great league. I really enjoyed this league. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know that starting with Exsanguinate was the most optimal. I should have started with this Bone Shatter build, and I would have plowed through this much faster, I think. And I don't regret starting with Exsanguinate. And I don't regret going to Caustic Arrow. I wanted to try something different. I like variety. I don't like doing the same thing over again. But this build, this Bone Shatter build, definitely excels. And all the difficulty that I ran into early on, I think could have been solved potentially with this build here. So the Exsanguinate build was doing good damage-wise, it just wasn't surviving very well. And having to go into the maps and pick the lantern device and all that stuff has really made the overall game much more difficult. I've kind of gotten into the flow of everything now, and I barely noticed that lantern thing is there. So I feel like this is more of a subtle league than something that, like, Affliction was just in your face. As soon as you went into the map, the ground would start shaking and that Affliction portal would open up, or the hole in the ground would be there that you could jump into. Now, you could ignore it. This you can't ignore. But like I said, I'm kind of just getting... I don't see it anymore. I like that I go over here and I select map device. I throw the map in there and it gives me modifiers to choose. It's just like normal now. I feel like it's just normal. And I pick stuff and I keep going. This build has really been going through this. I kind of feel bad for people that are brand new that maybe have never experienced difficulty like this, because you can't skip it like you could Affliction. At least with Affliction, you can just ignore it. But there's no skipping this. It's just straight hard. So I imagine a lot of people tapped out early. I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying it. SSF is fine. I'm doing well. I have no issues. I've got decent currency. I've got 10 divines right now. That's the divines that I've had. I don't think I've spent any, but I've had plenty of orbs of unmaking, plenty of regrets. I've got a chunk of those built up. I haven't really been using a lot of scourings. Early on, I had some orbs of alchemy issues getting those built up, but I've got a decent stack of chaos orbs, and I'll burn through those buying buying maps off of Kirok or upgrades or something, and I've still got like 51, so that's not bad. The orbs of alteration I'm running a little bit low on, and orbs of fusing, but I'm building up like jeweler's orbs. I haven't had any chrome issues this league. Gem cutters haven't been too bad. I've been stacking up just tons of quality gems, and then I'll sell off a bunch of these after a while, because like I'll never use Galvanic Field, but Galvanic Field and Icicle Mine together gives me a GCP. So I'll just go trade these off every once in a while. So I haven't really had too many currency issues. Every league seems to be a different thing I run out of currency-wise. But as far as like the unmakings go, I've had stacks of unmakings, but because we've got 3 Atlas trees, I've had 0 issues with the unmakings. So speaking of that, the multiple Atlas trees I love. I don't know if this is core or not, but I absolutely love the fact that we have multiple Atlas trees now. I absolutely hope this is core, because you can set one, like I have got this one for bossing. I don't think I will ever change this from bossing. I actually took off all the Kirok stuff, came over here into Abyss. Maybe I'll take the Abyss stuff out at some point and go into Scarabs or something or whatever. I don't know, but like I can go all in on all the different bossing portion, and then the rest is just whatever. I don't even care. And my Atlas tree strategy has definitely deviated quite a bit, because I planned on coming up the middle here and then going off maybe into Jun missions and stuff like that for unveils and getting some essences and things like that. But with the lantern difficulty, difficulty you get from the lantern, the league mechanic itself, I had to tap out of the essence monsters early on. The Jun missions got annoying because I was trying to level up, and they just kept constantly barraging me. Like early on, I only had, I don't know, what, 20, 30, 40% chance of getting Jun missions on the map, and they were coming in on every single map. I'd get intervented or something, like there'd be an intervention, and I'd end up dying and losing a chunk of experience, and I'm like, dude, I can't have this anymore, so I had to take that out. Now that I've got my Bone Shatter build, I'm running these crazy maps with Beyond and Essence monsters, and what else do I have on here? Heist. Heist doesn't really add anything, but it lets me get the heist. Delirium. I'm running Delirium on here. So between Delirium and Delirium and Beyond, I had Bestiary on here for a while, but I took that off. That was annoying too. But basically my bottom line is I am loving the way that you can select these. My Atlas tree strategy was going to be a right side, left side kind of thing, which I basically did. So I do have right side with Expedition and Breach and Jund missions on here. And then we've got the left side, and then we've got bossing. So that was kind of how I envisioned it ending up. But I thought I would more or less go up the middle, swing over here and pick up all the essence stuff. But like I said, man, the essence stuff was way too hard way early on. So I kind of gave up on that strategy. And I love the fact that we have multiple Atlas trees. I've barely spent any unmakings, and I really haven't. I've bought maybe a few with Orbs of Regret and maybe had to dip into my scouring slightly just to take a few things off. But otherwise, I have not needed to use too many unmakings. I think having 3 trees, and really the only reason I've really changed those is just to back out of something like when I got the 3rd tree unlocked and went into the Exarch, I had the Exarch on one of my other trees, so I just had to back it out and put it on my bossing one. So really, I mean, it was just more or less moving some of the things around. Going forward, like next league, if we still have 3 trees next league, I probably won't do Exarch. I'll just wait for all the bossing to get that 3rd tree unlocked, and then I'll just put all the bossing on there. But I've loved it. I think that having 3 Atlas trees is amazing. I like that. The league mechanics. So my thoughts on the league mechanics have changed a little bit over time. At first, I was kind of, I don't know, a little iffy on it, and that's because it was just so difficult early on. So you can't avoid it. I wasn't sure how I felt about that. It was just making everything harder, and I was dying a lot. I wasn't hating it, but I was like, man, I don't know if I like this. Now that I'm into it, like I said, it's kind of subtle. I just go click my map device, throw my map in, select a thing, and I'm going. And a lot of times, I don't even really pay attention to the modifiers. I haven't really been using a lot of these all flames. You can see I got a ton of these things stacked up. But I haven't really used a lot of these. When you juice stuff up with the all flame, it really juices up. And there's been maps I can't complete because there's just too much stuff that insta kills me and I'm just swarmed and dead. So I've learned to really tone that down. We'll get to those things in a second, but I really do like the lantern mechanic. I love how that is. I like being able to modify the contents of the map even further. I know you can alch the maps and then run and all that stuff, but being able to really tailor things with these all flames, between the all flames and the scarabs and the choices you get, like you can make some really crazy difficult maps, really rewarding stuff if you want. I mean, I like it. I've enjoyed this a lot. Now, you get the accompanied by map boss, accompanied by harbinger, or accompanied by a rogue exile. Those can be insane, and especially when you start throwing things like I want tattoos out of this with rogue exiles and accompanied by a map boss, or like the harbinger one. I had one. There was just harbingers everywhere because I wasn't thinking. Like if you look at this, you see splinters of Ul Natal. I didn't realize that it was going to replace the monsters with different monsters. So I just loaded it up. I'm like, cool, they're going to give me rewards. I didn't catch that it was actually switching the monster you were fighting out. So I loaded the map up with all this crazy stuff and I just got annihilated. Well, I learned out the hard way after once or twice, don't stack it up too much. But even like these sulfite ones, those are great. I love that. Like I've been running some delve with my bone shatter build to level it up. And I can go out, literally run one map with one of these things that replaces monsters with the ones that give you sulfite. I can have my sulfite filled up, go back into delve, and I'm cruising along. And I don't have delve on my Atlas tree anywhere. I might have a little bit of it on one of them, but I don't have delve on there like I normally do. I normally go all in on delve. I haven't had to do it. We've got these all flames that take care of. So I really like this. Now the wildwood one, yeah, dude, don't do the wildwood one. So they took the absolute worst part of the wildwood from last league and brought it into this league. And that's those dudes that threw that purple crap out. That sucked then and it sucks now. And I made the mistake of stacking one of my maps with those guys on top of all the other stuff. That was like the one I made the really big hard learn lesson on, was I had everything replaced with an all flame, and I think I had the dudes that give you tattoos. I had the sulfite. I don't know if I had the sulfite guys, but I know I had the Wildwood ones in there. It just got insane. I think I even had Rogue Exiles in there, and it was a rough map to run. I ran that with my Exsanguinate build, and I was like, oh God, I don't want to I don't want to keep juicing these up. It's just insane. But with Bone Shatter, I can take a lot of that stuff, and once I get this build going a lot better, I'll be able to take a lot more. But I am really liking this whole thing. I need to go through and burn some of these off. I haven't been, because I've been trying to level up. And then we've got tattoos back. I don't know if they're going core or not. In fact, I don't think I have any tattoos on this build. I actually threw some on my Exsanguinate build on like the strength or whatever. But yeah, because I guess I'd have to throw those on strength nodes, which I don't have. I could probably throw some in here. But I haven't really messed with them on here. I just hope tattoos go core. I've got a few of those stacked up. What do we got? A little bit of these in here. But like you can damage leeches life, evasion, mana regen, stuff like that. Like I've got these all kind of suck. I don't really care about these. But I've collected a few. I have applied a few on my Exsanguinate build. I like that. I hope those stay core. I do enjoy that those are there. And I'm kind of not sure what is supposed to be core. Like, is the Atlas Tree core? Are the tattoos core? Are the scarabs going to be core? I presume so. I'm not sure. The tier 17 maps, are they core now? Or is it just this league? Is it like a trial? I'm not sure. And maybe they've said that and I just missed it. I don't know. But anyway, the coffin crafting. I have tried a little bit of the coffin crafting. I've not spent a ton of time on it. I kind of like it. I've gotten some of the uniques. I know there's a unique belt that you get out of it, which is this big bar looking thing, this Nivalis deal. I've got that. I've got a few of the uniques out of it, like 2 or 3 different ones. They're okay. I haven't really found a way to work them in my build. I've been collecting up the coffins for them, so yeah, I don't have any more of those left. I've already been throwing them in the graves, but I did do some early crafting early on. I've been really focused on just leveling, and I haven't really been trying to, because I've got all the family stuff buried, 2 or 3 of each family buried, trying to get the uniques out of them. I haven't really been trying to grave craft. I haven't really been trying to save the grave crafts. So I have tinkered with it, but not enough to really do anything that's useful with it. And then, oh, I forgot. We also got that quality of life with the adding the button so you can just portal out. That is great. I love that. That has been a massive change because I'm cruising along, going through the map. I've got mine set for B. I just push my B button and it drops a portal, and then I can just keep on running. I don't have to go stop, hit escape, go find the scroll, right click on it. I love that. That has been a great change. You can just keep running through the map, drop a portal wherever you want, and just keep on plowing through. I like that. That's been a great change. And I also like the Detonate Dead changes that they've made. I've noticed, I don't know if it's new for this league or if it's just now that they are telegraphing the Detonate Dead, because you'll see that thing going off constantly. And what's weird is I have on my Bone Shatter build, I have it where enemies killed by your hits are destroyed. So everything I hit dies and gets gone. So you don't get that Detonate Dead going off. I'd get that with like chests that would open up and just insta kill me because they'd blow up everything around me. So I made sure to, I always now take that on my Bone Shatter build. But I've noticed that you're starting to get those things exploding here and there. I thought they were Detonate Dead. Maybe it's some other thing, but it's something new this league that I've noticed. I'm not sure. Oh, and before I forget, the Converts on Death, one of those lantern mods, that's kind of cool too. I had one where there was a lightning enemy. It's kind of confusing because now all of a sudden you got these dudes that are helping you and you keep trying to kill them. I know I should probably put their health markers on or whatever, but like I had one that had lightning, that lightning strike that comes down. That thing was just bah, 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 bah. And I'm walking along. I'm like, dude, this guy won't die. And it keeps coming up. Where's he at? And I realized he had converted and was helping me. And I was like, all right, I got to get away from this guy because he's kind of annoying. But yeah, I mean, I am really enjoying this league. I don't know that this is like the best league, but I think this has been a really solid SSF league. I'm looking at some of the people yelling about trade where their Mage Bloods are, I think Mage Bloods are costing Chaos today instead of Divines or whatever, and I'm like, whatever. I've still never had a Mage Blood, so I don't care. And I'm not really where I should be. Like if I look at my Atlas map, I don't have nearly as much of this stuff filled out. Like I would normally have maybe half of these favorite things unlocked. I would probably already have the Eater and the Exarch both down right now, but I just don't have the maps to run. I have 2 higher than tier 14 maps, and I'm not getting any more. I need to work on that. I've got my I've got my bossing section set up for getting maps and stuff like that, but I need to work on it and I need to spend some time on it. That's kind of where I'm at this point, but I don't have the 2, whatever you call those things. Oh God, every time I go to think of a word, I'm losing it. The, whatever these things are, the 4 things you unlock. I keep wanting to say waypoint, and that's not the right word. Whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have the 2 that I normally get. I do want to try to kill the Maven this league. That's why I was trying to work on an armor stacker. But I don't know. This is kind of where I'm at right now, is just at this point. I've got all my tier 16s unlocked. I need to get red maps unlocked, or need to get red maps dropped so I can run more mapping and keep going with this. I've also been running heist and stuff like that, so I've been really experiencing that. I will say that the Caustic Arrow with all that phase run and all that stuff is phenomenal for heisting. I've always used like Bone Shatter or something else when I ran into heist, and it was just kind of, my character was always really slow, and you got that big maze to go through and all the things that attack you along the way. I've not really enjoyed it, but with that phase run and fast movement speed, I can see the appeal to heist. If you can get in and get out very quickly and not worry about killing everything along the way, it plays much different. So I'm really kind of enjoying heist now, and I never thought I would do that. Looking forward to next league, not like this is just like a thumbnail plan, not like a firm, this is what I'm going to do. I really liked starting off with all 3 of my builds this league. I would probably tone it down to just 2. I did like having 2 builds at the end game mapping section. So next league, I would be looking at doing Bone Shatter and Caustic Arrow. Unless some other build comes up that I just think is amazeballs, I will league start Caustic Arrow and Bone Shatter for next league, and I will do probably the same thing I did this league, which was get one into the mapping section and then advance the other one through to the mapping section so that they could both do mapping at the same time. Once you get these guys up to level 70, you can trade gear and you can start finding gear. Like I thought I would like leapfrog gear through the campaign, but I found out that it really doesn't do that much because I wasn't swapping my gear out all that much through the campaign. So I wasn't able to kick the old stuff down very often. I just played through and beat it, and then I was done, and then I started the next build and went through and beat it and was done. And then by the time I got to doing my Bone Shatter build, I had a ton of unique stuff built up. But I did like going through the campaign, getting the campaign done. It was a rough weekend doing the campaign twice that fast, or that back-to-back, one right after the other. But I feel like it was more rewarding because then I was just doing mapping from that point forward. I wasn't stopping to go level a character up. In fact, I kind of didn't really want to do this bone jug at all. And I just quit. I was like, unless I absolutely need it, I'm not going to mess with it. But then I hit that brick wall with my Exsanguinate build. And I said, you know what? This really isn't getting me into the bossing part that I wanted to get into. So I built this one up and here we are with this one. So that is kind of my thoughts on the league. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a little more subtle. I don't think it's as in your face as Affliction League was. It's not as avoidable as Affliction or Trial of the Ancestors was, but I really like this league. I'm a little mixed on what we have that's going core and what's not going core. I don't know. We'll see what all that entails, but I am enjoying the league, and I will be playing this for a while. I may take a little bit of a break here and there. We had No Rest for the Wicked came out. I bounced off of it slightly. I do want to play it. I've got it. It's sitting in my, it's installed on my hard drive and everything. But the problem I had with it is it's controller only. Like I tried the keyboard controls with it, and that's no bueno. There's no way I'm playing that. So if you're not familiar with it, it uses the infinite movement you can get off of a stick, so you can move it like 1 degree or 5 degree angles, whereas with the mouse and keyboard, you're basically pushing up, down, left, and right, and then you get up to the right, up to the left, down to the right, down to the left. So you've got only 8 directions you can go. it's very difficult to get that in between angle. So I just kind of bounced off of it. I wanted to stop and take a break when that game came out, and that's what I was planning on doing. But then the controls are horrible unless you use a controller, and I don't feel like dragging my controller back here to play it right at the moment. So I've kind of bounced off of it a little bit. Looks cool. I just haven't messed with it. So anyway, that is my thoughts on the league. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. I'm enjoying it. I see a lot of complaints about the league, and I know a lot of people have had issues with Trade League, and there's been some things, borderline exploits that have been patched out. But anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.